Hey everyone, it's time to review Gungnir and determine whether the tank is balanced or broken. This tank is currently available as part of Valhalla event. It is a tier 9 Swedish tank destroyer, base price 14k gold. However, if you finish the champion's path, you can unlock a 35% discount on this tank. So don't miss out on the discount if you're planning to buy this tank and can wait. So let's get started with the setup that I'm using for this tank. I do have a specific Swedish tank destroyer build on the tank, going with advanced loader, advanced concealment, and advanced optics, using 3 large consumables, repair kit, med kit, and rations, and camo paint. For my crew, I'm going with rapid loading, bond leader, silent driving, camouflage expertise, muffled shot, sixth sense, track mechanic, armor angling, and general mechanic. You'll notice I don't have any accuracy perk because when you're in siege mode, it is pretty accurate. So I opted against using snapshot, steady aim, and run and gun, as the tank in siege mode is slow anyway, and you can't really use snapshot turning left on right. And it has very small gun arc, and as I said, the gun is accurate. So I went for the extra track mechanic skills. If I do get tracked, I can quickly repair it and full concealment. Let's take a look at the modules for the tank. It is a Urus at tier 9 with the extra armor, but it does look like Urus though. So we have engine in the front and fuel tank in the rear, ammo rack in the middle as well next to the fuel tank, and 3 crew members, all of them in the hull. Well, it doesn't technically have a turret. It does have 40 mm of upper plate. That means any gun that is higher than 120 can auto pen it, but most of the guns up to tier 9, they are 120 or lower. And if you're not exposing your lower plate, you can bounce reliably. However, the side is only 20 mm, so any knowledgeable players with a 90 mm will just shoot the sides and overmatch it. As most guns, or definitely all guns at tier 9, 8, they are at least 90. There might be some light tanks. So the best way to play this tank is be hull down and capitalize on that 40 mm upper plate to bounce shots. The tank is a little bit sluggish as it's a Urus with extra armor. And we'll go over the stats in detail, but in short, the tank has better concealment and view range than the Stir 103 and extra hit points, but it is worse accuracy, doesn't have premium APCR, or standard APCR shell velocity isn't that good. To kind of balance, both tanks have pros and cons, but I don't really see any reason that this tank would shine over the other one, because it's a tier 9. There's no silver bonus either, so I don't see why you would go for this tank if you already have a Sturv. And if you're playing this kind of tank destroyer, you might just play the tier 10 Sturv, where you have even more armor and you can bounce more reliably. So yeah, let's look at the module details, or stats and details. Forward 50, reverse 45, 17 horsepower, 10% fire chance, 1600 hit points, so 100 more than the Star 103, hull rotation 34, concealment 20 better, or base better than the Sturv, so 195. View range also 453, it is 20 better than the Sturv as well. Rotation speed for the turret 17. Gun depression 14, slightly better than the Sturv. Same with elevation, 17, slightly better than the Sturv. Reload time is longer, 7.07 seconds, 8.4 rate of fire. Accuracy 0.39. I think that's in drive mode, not in siege mode. Siege mode has better accuracy, but its accuracy is worse than Sturv. Aim time 2.7 seconds. Again, that's in drive mode, I think. We don't have the siege mode stats here. Ammo capacity 40. Standard is APCR, premium is heat. Not a fan of it because the Sturv has premium APCR, and with this tank, you would much rather have APCR because you can't really rotate your turret, or you don't have the turret and you need that extra shell velocity. And DPM less than the Sturv. Penetration 290 on the standard. It is 120, however, it is not a 103. Caliber, premium heat at 330. Sturv had like 350-ish. And even the standard on Sturv is like 308. But again, the caliber is smaller. Alpha 420. Alpha is higher than the Sturv. Module damage 165 for every shell. Ammo max speed 1350. It is slower than the Sturf standard. Heat 1100, decent for heat, but again slower. When you have a tank that doesn't have a turret, you would want faster shell velocity to maximize its usage. And this is a tier 9 similar to Star 103. Tier 9 version, you do not have a heat shield, so heat shield or heat shells will just pen this tank. Silver earn rate, no bonus, obviously. And premium vehicle earn rate of 5%. So no bonus because tier 9s don't usually get any silver bonus. The only tank that does is TL7 because it's a black tank, but otherwise our tier 9 and 10 don't really have any bonuses. So whether the tank is balanced or broken, I would say it's balanced, does have the extra concealment and a view range where you can play better independently, but at the same time not that effective sniping due to low cell velocity. And the thing about these tanks are you excel in sniping, right? And which you can't do when you're playing this tank. So, and as I said earlier, it is a tier 9 with no booster, so why would you play this over the others unless you like the skin and the theme? The balanced tank, some pros compared to the Sturf, some worse attributes, but doesn't really stand out where I should get this tank. Probably gonna save my goal for like a season pass tank where I can get like a tier 10 with an ultimate season. That's obviously always a better deal. Upgrade your basic season pass to ultimate season pass. Than going for tier 9, which is expensive. 14,000, even after 35% discount, it's still gonna be expensive. Yeah, so let's get started and see how this tank actually performs in the battlefield. I'm in Westfield, one of the best maps for a siege mode tank destroyer. Decided to push to K7 and set up a nice little nest so I can start sniping. The tank goes 50, same as the Tech 3 version, but kind of do feel a little bit sluggish, but maybe I haven't played this tank in a while. It would be nice if it goes a little faster, but I do feel it is sluggish, especially compared to the tier 10 version that I play often, whether it's getting up to speed or just moving while you are in siege mode. However, it does have better concealment than the tier 9, so I don't really have to worry about getting spotted, as I have 40 better ability to outspot the opponents. 20 better concealment, 20 better view range. The light tank gets spotted in the middle, and also to help my positioning, our medium that's pushed towards K0, he would spot anyone who pushes 0 line, and the focus would be on him, and I can be safe at K7 and just farm whatever he spots. We're able to see how the shell velocity impacts. It is a bigger caliber, 120, but less pen and less shell velocity. Usually the guns that are 105 or 103, they're faster, and the 120mm are usually slower because of the bigger caliber. You don't see many gun with 120 or plus with high shell velocity. Of course, there are some exceptions. So Pershing going forward doesn't get spotted, the bush and all the camo setup. Siege mode, reticle, always fun. But another shot into Pershing, he was tracked, he goes out. I've dropped more trees, or 2 trees, both the trees. 120 got spotted, a nice shot into him as well. Light tank gets spotted here. I wanted to shoot the light, but I thought the medium is an easier target. If I was Sturf over there, I would have penned my second shot on the medium because I would be firing premium APCR, and then I would have penned him. Also retreating, yeah, very slow, took 2 shots, one in the front. I was expecting some bounces, but they penned my lower plane, and also took a side on the side. As the side is only 20mm, and as mentioned, I would get auto penned if anyone at tier 8, 9, 10 decide to shoot the side, it will get overmatched. So I wasn't able to make the armor work, unfortunately. I thought 40mm would be enough, but because it doesn't have heat shield like the tier 10 version, right? You get penned by heat from frontly, and even APCR. I just ended up exposing my lower plate more often than I should whenever I played this tank. Also facing an even 100, and I wasn't sure. I was like, should I keep my APCR or switch to heat? Because if even 100 angles, then heat becomes very tricky to pen due to all the spaced armor, and if he's angled, my APCR or standard penetration is not enough to penetrate him reliably. So sticking to standard and hoping for the best that I can pen even 100. Again, this sort of confusion would never happen in a Tech 3 Sturf. Waiting for 100 to get spotted. Once our team pushes forward, 3000 damage so far. 120 gets spotted again, and there's the Panzerjäger full health. Before I could aim, my team deleted. Not happy. Not happy. They should have let me have my share of damage, which is one shot. Heavy pushing forward now. I was surprised even 100 wasn't spotted earlier, and now he is. Still, the accuracy not an issue. As I said, no accuracy perk, but still I can aim at the weak spots. Switch to heat here because I could see it's a little bit angled. Still going for that lower plate though. 1100 meter per second heat shell velocity is decent. Not bad. It's usually that 800 meters, 900 that's really annoying. 1100 is still workable, right? But of course you would prefer the APCR. Another nice shot into the lower plate. He goes back to the garage, and I decided to push forward. Over on the north side, their team is winning, or I was hoping at least they should win. So once we clean up this side, I will have some more damage. I would hate for them to lose both sides, or for me to get many more damage. For this map, I didn't get the opportunity to farm too much, as Westfield has a huge potential for mediums or light if the game develops that way. You know, some maps have a limitation, but this is one of the perfect maps or best maps for this tank, along with Malinovka, I would say, and maybe Proc. Sturv gets spotted. 103, that's the Tech 3 tank. Can I pen him? Lower plate shot, bang, he goes out. 4 heavy techs remaining, they're pushing forward. I should have gone back towards the K line so I could farm better, but for some reason decided to push forward. My team was already ahead of me, and they cleaned up before I could even arrive. The machine killed Rhino and pushing towards our base. 50 just didn't feel enough. Even the Tech 3, as I said, even the tier 10, it goes up to 50. But I was playing some other faster tanks like Leopard and stuff. It kind of feels slow. Not a bad thing though, it's just I'm complaining, as I was relatively playing faster tanks. And it kind of felt slow, especially when you want to rush to a position. 50 isn't the greatest to escape, or to push if you have to quickly. But the tank's strength is outspotting enemies, as mentioned earlier. So Chog in front of me, machines on the cap, mouse were on the right side. Chog goes down E4. Take him out. Now thinking whether I should go left or right. Machine gets spotted on the left, so turning towards him so I can get at least one more shot, or one shot into him, and then I can start pushing the mouse. Mouse is still healthy. He's being circled by our light tank. Trying to get a clean shot on his tracks. He keeps moving. He's tracked. There's the pen. 5200 damage. I was hoping for another pen, but I should have known better. I should have started pushing mouse sooner because I knew he was surrounded. I won't get much damage. 2363 HP on mouse. Again, 36 going uphill, and for some reason even that heavy tank is able to keep up with me. I thought I can get there quicker. I can take one shot of damage from mouse, so not gonna worry about it. Just gonna set up and start shooting, even if he pens me, whatever. But I thought I would be hull down, but I think I ended up exposing a little bit more here. As he penned me, I penned him in return as well. Needed more practice to be completely held down. Rotated his turret, giving me a nice side shot. Yeah, I thought I can get another pen here. But as I said, I think I'm just exposing my lower plate more and missed out on additional shot of damage. Not to, doesn't matter though because he's one shot as well. I'll go down. So 6000 damage. I was an okay game for sure. Nothing that stands out of this tank. It is okay. It depends on you if you want to buy it or not, but nothing special in the Tech 3 version. And since it's no bonus, right, why not just play the tier 10? That's just better in every way. Has the heat shield, more armor, needs bigger caliber to penetrate it. So that's it for this video. Do let me know in comments if you're planning to buy this or not, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.